Tim Seeley. So, Tim, you are a comic book writer and artist with numerous credits. As far as He-Man and She-Ra, you just wrapped up He-Man and the Masters of the Multiverse. I know from interviewing you on our podcast that you always wanted to tell a Faker story. Are there any She-Ra characters that you really have just been dying to tell a story about?
Oh man, absolutely. I would love to do something with Frosta. It's just a cool design, like this sort of fantasy. It's like it's Frozen, but with Masters of the Universe, right? Like there's a perfect story somewhere with Frosta. But yeah, I mean, for me, I love the ensemble cast. So there's probably also like a creepy horror story to be told about Lookie, right? Like he's always there. He's in the background. He's doing frightening things. So give me the dark slasher version of Lookie, and I'll work with that too.
I love that.
Today,
Shane Lynch is here, writer and script coordinator for She-Ra. Shane, I know you get this question all the time, but I think your job is the coolest. What is it that a script coordinator does?
I recently found out that what I did at Dreamworks is not what script coordinators do in general, but my job at Dreamworks was to be writer's assistant, take notes in the writer's room, attend all the records, do the circle takes, which is circling the takes in the script of the lines that Noelle liked the reads of, and then tracking all the ADR and pickups, and then also getting to write actual scripts freelance, and keeping documents about the mythology and the timelines and everything involving words.
As Tom Foss can attest, he and I would write like whole seasons of He-Man She-Ra fan fiction in junior high school, and I think we dreamed of having your job. So
really fun.
Even though you're describing it as a very work-intensive job, which I'm sure it is, it also sounds like what I still wish I could do in a way.
I really enjoyed it and stayed late on my own. So if I was like working on like a property I didn't care about, maybe it would feel more like work but this one I was kind of did for fun.
And Tom, you don't still have those fan fictions, right?
Oh, absolutely, I do.
Uh-oh.
With all the
Anyway, moving on.
jokes.
So, how could we do this panel without my co-host, one of my ride or dies? You all know her, you all love her, Lauren Faits, dressed in Charles Nelson Reilly garb. Lauren,
I don't think you should speak for them. I don't know if they all feel so strongly.
I hope they do. I mean, I assume who could not love you? Lauren, how did you prepare for this role? I see you've really taken this seriously tonight.
I wouldn't do this without going to the hilt. So I have spent all week on YouTube watching 70s clips from Match Game. I have not been familiar with the large encyclopedia of footage that you can enjoy. So if you haven't fallen into that YouTube hole yet, I recommend it. The rest of this stuff comes courtesy of, unfortunately, Amazon. And so I'm definitely going to give to charity more than I gave to Jeff Bezos.
Thank you, Lauren. That's very just of you. Well, guys, this is our celebrity panel. I'm so stoked to have them all here. I'm going to introduce the contestants and we're going to start to play. But first, I do want to say one of our contestants lives in Orlando. They are under a tornado warning and she cannot play because it is dangerous to her life right now. So we need someone in the second round. So if you're watching and you're like, oh, this would be fun to play, just hit us up on the Twitch chat. Tech Tom in the corner there and Liz, the resident gamer, are watching the chat, and we will work this out. Liz, do you find it hard to like live a normal life and also be a gamer to the extreme?
Yeah, like it's really hard because some would call me like the king of games, and just like that title just sometimes has like a weight to it. This cup is filled with Mountain Dew. It's a hard life, but it's one I wouldn't trade for the world.
Does it say number one dad?
What games do you play? Number one dad.
I play anything and everything, and I'm the best at all of them.
Nice.
Gamer daddy.
Yeah.
That's why Liz is here, everybody. Number one dad, Liz Burton. All right, let's go to our contestants. So calling in from New York City. Actually, this gentleman is a medical worker in New York City. So I'm going to skip the sarcastic questions because I feel like he's been through enough lately. And also, he got me this incredible glitter shadow weaver as a gift to me and Lauren for our final podcast season. So I don't want to say I have favorites, but I'd say the deck is pretty well stacked in favor of Mr. Ryan Ferguson.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for having me, Eric.
You're welcome. How are you, Ryan? Are you doing good?
I'm good. I'm glad I'm off today. I am exhausted to say the least, but very happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you for everything you're doing. I hope you're staying safe.
I am. Thank you so much. You too.
Excellent.
Beautiful, beautiful sorceress hat.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's so cool.
Thank you. I actually bought it for charity like 3 or 4 years ago for an LGBT youth center in Texas. I was like, I have to have this. So.
And next up is Jacob Torbeck, who you've also heard on our podcast. Jacob is a theologian in Chicago. Jacob could write a literal book on theology and He-Man, and I think has possibly planned out a table of contents already. Jacob, what did you think of Horde Prime in season 5 of She-Ra?
Oh, I have big religion professor thoughts about Horde Prime. He is like the creepiest excess of religion and science all rolled into one. It's so good.
Yeah. So when's your book coming out? And can I write the foreword? Actually, maybe like Tim should write the foreword. Someone who actually is connected.
I was gonna say, Eric, you're using this as a channel to just pitch your work to all of the other celebs.
Why do you think I invited a bunch of people from Hollywood, baby?
You know, you failed on the Hollywood thing when you got a comic book writer in Chicago, my friend. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm working angles here. You know what I'm saying? The restaurant biz isn't what it used to be 3 months ago. So
Hurts.
Liz, everything's fine.
I know. I'm just like sitting here. I'm like, yeah, I'm here for a reason.
I'm taking you with me. I will say, like a week before we close down, Liz and I had this bit where she was like, well, I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna go to Hollywood. I feel like it's my time. And you're like, oh well, Liz, okay, but now, you know.
Now I can't even get there.
Wouldn't blame you. That's all I'm saying. All right, you guys ready to play match game?
Let's do it.
You're here.
All right. So Ryan, you called in first, mostly because our other contestant is under threat of her life right now. So you get the first choice of, would you like question A or B?
Let's go with A.
A. Okay. I do want to call out. So some of these questions come from Mr. Gary Lucy. These were in his submission packet that he shared with me a few years ago.
Nice.
So how this is going to work, I'm going to read a saucy question with a blank in it. The contestant is going to think about how they would answer. All of the celebrity panelists will write their answer on a piece of paper. Then the contestant will verbally give their answer. The celebrities will reveal. And if any of those match, the contestant will get a point for each correct answer. The winner of the who has the most points after 2 rounds will get a nice donation to a nonprofit of their choice. The person who doesn't win will also get a donation, but it won't be quite as large because you know, it's all going to a good cause anyway. But let's put a little bit of stakes on it, you know. Fight. So Ryan, are you ready for this?
Bring it on.
All right. Cheapskate Charlie said, why waste money taking your kids to expensive theme parks this summer? You can get all the thrills of waiting in long lines for free by taking them to blank. Cheapskate Charlie said, why waste money taking your kids to expensive theme parks this summer? You can get all the thrills of waiting in long lines for free by taking them to blank.
Question.
Yes.
How filthy are we allowed to be?
As filthy as you want, man.
You gotta try to match, though.
Yeah, that's true. Greg said you have immunity here, so.
Because my basis is the snatch game, not match game, and they're filthy. So I'm like,
just remember that in the 70s, the dirtiest word you could say was boobs, and it was said often.
What did they always say in the Newlywed Game? Instead of sex, they would say whoopee.
Making whoopee, yeah.
They would say making whoopee.
Making love.
Yeah, but whoopee, I guess, was the dirtiest you could get in 1985.
Yeah, with Chuck Woolery, right? Who turned out to be
Chuck Woolery. No, what was the guy who turned to a hardcore Republican and was terrible? It was the other guy.
Hey, Jack. Oh,
it wasn't.
Chuck Woolery was the dating. No, it was Love Connection.
Oh yeah.
That guy sucks. The guy who was on the dating game was great, or the love, whatever. He was also the host of Card Sharks, if I recall.
Oh, I love Card Sharks. That guy's awesome.
What was the one that had Press Your Luck? That was the greatest game show of all time, if I recall.
Tom something.
Yeah.
We're buying Ryan so much time.
Not Bergeron. Yeah, is everyone in?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Oh, should we raise our hands or something?
Oh no, that's fine. We're just chatting. We're enjoying each other's company. So Cheapskate Charlie said, "Why waste money taking your kids to expensive theme parks this summer? You can get all the thrills of waiting in long lines for free by taking them to blank." Ryan?
It's basic answer, but I can't think of anything else. The food store, because of COVID times.
The food store.
Food store.
Right.
Not a grocery store, just the.
Sorry, a grocery store.
I'll allow it. All right, let's start with Tom. Tom, what do we got?
I blanked real hard, so I said that if you wanted to wait in a line in the summer, you're going to go to the car wash.
Oh, okay. Greg?
So I didn't think this was a good answer, and I wrote it anyway because it's the only thing that popped in my head. And apparently I have COVID on my mind too because I said grocery store.
Damn! 1 point for Ryan. Liz, Gamer Dad?
I almost said the car wash also, but then I was thinking about where I've seen lines lately, and I said the Aldi near my house, which is a grocery store.
Give Daddy the point.
Yeah, do I also get a point?
Sure.
Thank God. I'll keep track.
Gary?
You know where I buy a lot of my groceries nowadays because I also like to get underwear and phone chargers. I go to the Target. And there's a little toilet paper. Judges at the grocery store.
Are we gonna?
You sell groceries.
Let's go to Tech Tom. Match Game Tech Tom. Do we count Target? All right, we're taking Target. That's 3 points.
That's more lenient than I would be.
Tim.
I did say the food store. So
Yeah.
It's a store that sells food.
I said, this is a little bit Chicago specific, and I apologize, but I said the Jewel Osco for toilet paper.
That's a match.
Sure, that's a match, yes.
That's a match. All right. Ryan, you're crushing it so far. Shane?
The
free clinic.
I'm going to be a filthy old queen during this.
All right, nice.
Oh, no. Maybe Shane is the Charles Nelson Reilly after all. Lauren?
I spoke from recent experience. I waited in the line here so long that I made a permanent new friend who I talk to on Facebook often. It unfortunately is not a match. I said the DMV.
Oh, okay. Ryan leaving round one with 4 points. That's very good. I was remarking the last time I did this, we had scores were 1-0 across the board. So this is a much better panel so far. Great work, everybody. All right, Jacob, you ready for your question?
I am.
All right, Jacob, I've got bad news and worse news. The bad news is Playboy magazine no longer publishes nude photos. I'm sorry. The worst news is blank magazine does.
Oh.
I've got bad news and good news. The bad news is Playboy magazine no longer publishes nude photos. The worst news is blank magazine does. Gary, do you remember writing these questions?
Dude, that was back when there was magazines. I'm like, I can't think of the name of one now.
What was that like?
Oh, it was the best. Yeah, it's like the internet, but it's printed out, and there's a lot of ads, pop-up ads.
And pop-up blockers, which were scissors back in my day. Just cut those ads right out. Everybody in?
Almost.
Almost. I feel like Alec always rushes people, but I guess they're on a time clock. We don't have advertisers.
Done.
All right. I've got bad news and good news, Jacob. No, and worse news. I'm sorry. The bad news is Playboy magazine no longer publishes nude photos. The worst news is blank magazine does.
Highlights.
Oh man!
Oh no!
Point.
Oh no!
Night rules.
Don't see a
Not
lot
the
of
timber
matches there,
toes.
but I still think I feel like I won.
Jacob
right.
Forbeck, you have children.
That's why it would be terrible news.
Tom Foss, what do we got?
Man, I wish I'd come up with that one. I said, if you want, and this is probably a sign that I live in rural America, I said field and stream. Is
Live nude trouts.
Fun fact, I guess when you submit questions, you have to submit sample answers too. And that was one of Gary's sample answers, which is a magazine I've never heard of. But you guys, you do match.
The farmer,
Greg.
and he's just standing in a stream, like,
Just letting it flow.
Waiters and
showing off his rod.
You had an amazing answer. My answer was not as amazing. I said National Enquirer.
National Enquirer. Liz?
I said my dad's.
Get the magazine?
Yeah.
he's got one.
On brand. Gary.
Now, this isn't bad news for me because I like a patrician woman of a certain age who knows her way around a centerpiece. But I said Martha Stewart living.
That is an SNL sketch.
Him?
I said the AARP monthly magazine.
Oh, good one. Good one.
That's good. That's good. Shane?
I don't know if they have a magazine, but
That would be bad news.
Yes.
I don't see any of those people naked.
Oof.
I feel bad for Jacob. He had the definitive answer, as they say on that game.
Lauren?
It's not as good as Jacob's, but the good news is you'll still see some pussy in Cat Fancy.
I like how Shane is like, what can we say? And Lauren's just like,
Yeah, went right to it, right there.
I was talking about cats. You're filthy.
okay. All
Your
right.
highlights was the filthiest one. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I feel bad about that. I can't even.
All right, so we're gonna move to round two of the first game. We're gonna let Ryan choose first again. Ryan, you only have 3 potential people you can match with here. Once again, would you like question A or B?
Let's go with A again.
Going with A. All right. Question A. Casual Carl said, "I'm sick of people saying Californians don't know how to dress properly for formal occasions. Just the other day at my mom's funeral, I wore a very tasteful pair of blank. I'm sick of people saying Californians don't know how to dress properly for formal occasions. Just the other day at my mom's funeral, I wore a very tasteful pair of blank."
Or is not everyone supposed to be writing?
No, only Tom, Shane, and you, Lauren, are writing. Very tasteful.
I like that I'm not playing. I can see everyone's thinking faces.
I think this is what 3/7 California right now. Gary, Greg, and Shane are all in the LA area. Liz is there in her heart, obviously. Lauren's there in her attire. I'm there in my brain. All right.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I had small talk while people were answering, but I was just wondering what I'm trying to place what that painting is over your shoulder there, Greg, with the road sign and the 134.
That's David Hockney's Pear Blossom Highway.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think it's at the Getty.
I think you're right. In Los Angeles, where
Yeah.
Stone's
This is not at the Getty.
Beautiful.
He's at the Getty live.
All right, let's do it. Casual Carl said, "I'm sick of people saying Californians don't know how to dress properly for formal occasions. Just the other day at my mom's funeral, I wore a very formal occasion of..." Ryan?
All right, I think this is the easiest answer ever. It's an homage to Princess Prom, sandals. Sandals.
Okay. Tom?
Well, maybe some of the other answers are rubbing off on me. I said that to this funeral, I wore a very tasteful pair of nipple clamps.
Very California.
Very casual.
What do you think we do out here?
After
Rural America.
After
Rural America.
Wow.
you move here, they give you those.
Yeah.
How about you, Shane? What do we got?
I think this is a match.
Birkenstocks?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
she
Match
gets
game tech, Tom. Do we match Birkenstocks? Tom, I'm gonna say
What's a
Birkenstocks
Birken-
or sandals?
sock?
I'm sorry.
They are sandals.
There's
I'm
it.
sorry.
It's
They're
an open-toed
sandals.
Sandal.
okay. We're calling it a match. That's a match from Shane.
Yeah.
What is the point? What happened to Tech Tom?
And Lauren, what did?
It's a good thing you got a point back there because I forgot that the word casual was in there, and I also forgot that this was like a male identified person. Maybe that's irrelevant, but
Wow.
Lauren and Tom are on the same wavelength for sure. All right, so Ryan's got 5 points. That means, Jacob, you have to match at least 5 of the 7 contestants in your second question to proceed. How do you feel about that?
It's probably not going to happen.
I believe in you.
Come on, give us some credit. We can
I
do this.
believe.
I will still win, but I will not win by points.
All right, Jacob, here we go. I believe in you, bud.
All right.
Hello, cable TV company. Could you please send over a repairman right away? I'm trying to watch Game of Thrones, but the picture is scrambled. All I can see is a dragon with big blank. Hello, cable TV company. Could you please send over a repairman right away? I'm trying to watch Game of Thrones, but the picture is scrambled. All I can see is a dragon with big blank. And everybody will play on this one since no one matched highlights, weirdly.
Yeah.
I feel really good about this one. I
do
feel
too.
really good about it.
Tim, what comics are in your? Is that a Valiant display behind you
I
there?
have a Valiant. They sent me a display, so
Wow.
I have some of my recent stuff. I have Dark Red, Money Shot, also just a Daredevil comic I like, and I have the Fate comics in the movie Lost Boys behind me as well.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go. Well,
That's
Nice.
pretty cool.
fake in that they were not real from the movie, but I have them, so they are real.
Wow. I feel bad because we're doing a She-Ra stream and my Transformers are behind me. But my She-Ra stuff's on the other
I
side of
was
the room.
really worried about it. I was like, man, this guy, he's betraying us with his
Betrayed me.
Ultra Magnus and his Fortress Maximus and everything going on there.
Oh, Tim.
Just call them monstroids.
I did like corner my friend Leslie, who's was an executive at Hasbro, and I was like, I have a whole pitch for a series that's just about Starscream.
Ooh.
I would love to see that. Your take on Starscream.
Yes, absolutely.
Only
I mean,
Starscream.
You got to make that happen.
He was such a sassy boy.
It's the best. Yeah.
the best. Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Hello, cable TV company. Could you please send over a repairman right away? I'm trying to watch Game of Thrones, but the picture is scrambled. All I can see is a dragon with big blank.
Well, when I was a 15-year-old child watching scrambled television, the only thing that was large were the boobs.
Boobs. I can see a
Boobs.
dragon with big boobs. Here it
Freaking
is.
classic, am I right?
It's match game, baby. All right.
We had to go back. We had to go back and hit that.
Have to go back to move forward. Tom, what do we got?
Well, I watched every episode of Game of Thrones. I don't think there was anything wrong with his picture when he said that he saw a dragon with big boobs.
Wait, show us your card again, Tom.
What?
Show us your card again,
Oh,
Tom.
very nice. Illustrative. It's a graphic design going on there.
Beautiful. Greg?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna get right to it. Boobs.
That's 2. Liz?
You know, I had a really good feeling about this round, and I wasn't wrong. Boobs.
Gary?
What do you think, Junior?
Tim?
I guess I assumed that this term was actually meant boobs. Big
Look
Khaleesi
at the Khaleesi's on that dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. He got really mad. So
Lauren, you've cosplayed as Khaleesi. I'm gonna let you judge this one. Do we match it?
Yes.
All right, it's a match. Shane.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's a dragon.
Fireballs.
Come
It's a
on.
really good pun, though. It's a really good pun.
Very.
Y'all are
And
filthy.
Lauren.
Unfortunately, apparently, when the scrambled television was going, I was looking for something different, which was big dick energy.
Mm.
So by my count, we're 5-5, which means we have to go to the tiebreaker.
Oh man, this is exciting.
This is, luckily I prepared for just this occasion. So I've got a couple questions from the 70s version of the show. Let's let Jacob go first. Jacob, would you like A or B?
B for
Okay.
balls.
and boobs too.
And boobs too. B for every answer.
All right, Jacob, there's a scandal in McDonald's Playland. Mayor McCheese was caught in the freezer holding his blank. And everyone will play. There's a scandal in McDonald's Playland. Mayor McCheese was caught in the freezer holding his blank. What could Mayor McCheese hold? I love this theme song, you guys. I'm so glad ABC kept it, Gary. I feel like you wouldn't have the match game without it.
The best.
The only thing you're missing here is that big long microphone.
I know, right? It's not the same.
It's not the same.
Gene Rayburn. Is he still? He's not still around, is he?
No.
Don't know.
That's sad.
There's-
Sorry,
there's this-
everybody.
There's this kid on Double Dare who's written books about like every game show host, like Phil Cohen and Alan Ludden. He's like he's kind of like the expert that they call when there's a game show duck happening. But yeah, so I'll see what I can get to the bottom on this Gene Rayburn question.
I gotta read these books.
Yeah. Oh man.
Someone just messaged a group chat I'm in to yell boobs. So this is the effect you've all had on people. All right, Jacob, are you ready?
I'm ready.
There's a scandal in McDonald's Playland. Mayor McCheese was caught in the freezer holding his blank.
Well, Mayor McCheese, if you'll remember, is a hamburger in a suit. So he was holding his meat.
Holding his meat. All right.
So.
Tom.
This one might have to go to the judges because I was on the same idea. I thought that Mayor McCheese would be holding his quarter pounder.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna give it to him. I think that's in. That's a match.
Great pun. That's
Greg?
I was also thinking he's a giant cheeseburger. What would he be holding? Said meat patty.
2. That's 2. Liz?
I'll say it doesn't make sense, but I just wrote personal bottle of Mac sauce. Just his
Very
own
wholesome,
personal
and I
bottle.
appreciate
I love Mac sauce.
I will say somebody in the chat did say, I'll wait till after actually, just in case somebody has said this.
Great. Gary?
He was holding his buns.
Oh,
Very nice.
not a match, but great answer.
And a great drawing too.
Yeah. Tim?
I feel like this is weird. He was holding his tartar sauce. I don't know. It's
A
not
fillet of fish.
You don't put it on a burger. It's weird. I feel weird about it.
Very saucy. Shane.
Buns.
Nice.
With a Z.
Nice.
Very classy. And Lauren.
I hope the judges give it to us, Jake, because where's the beef? Here it is.
Oh, yeah. I'll give it to you.
Nice.
That's 3 matches for Jacob. And now Ryan. So this is going to be, it's like a sudden death. So if you both tie again, I'll just donate the full amount to both of your chosen nonprofits. So we don't keep people here forever. But I can't stress enough that every nonprofit is going to get a donation tonight. I'm making like 12 to 14 in total. So if you guys are watching and you're enjoying the show, I would appreciate maybe kicking some coin to stuff like Chicago Community Bond Fund, Black Lives Matter Chicago. Lauren has an exhaustive list as well. So a lot of people could use help right now, and we're very lucky to be able to do this. So with that said, Ryan, the economic crash has been so tough the old woman had to move out of her shoe and into a blank. The economic crash has been so tough, the old woman had to move out of her shoe and into a blank. Now, Tom, are those all classic figures behind you?
No, these are all classics, except I did grab my 2000X He-Man and She-Ra for this. I forgot how drag queeny 2000s She-Ra's makeup was, and I did get the. I did get the 12-inch from the new series for the She-Ra.
Oh, those figures are cool. I'm so upset there wasn't a Hordak toy at the end of it all. But
it's a Sonic toy.
That's true. Look, Shane, I care about the scale of my figures, okay? in scale with She-Ra.
What's weird about the Sonic toys is like the She-Ra is just like a round head with like a face printed on it, and the Hordak beautifully sculpted, like
all sculpted, yeah.
Yeah, like whoever like made those toys loves Hordak.
There was enough She-Ra toys. Let's give Hordak one.
I saw Keston John tweeted like he had to buy the Hordak toys off eBay and paid like an exorbitant amount for them because he didn't want to get a Sonic in the middle of a pandemic.
Wish he would have just reached out. I got some to give to him.
Keston, I'm sure he's watching right now. Keston, you messed up, man.
We're talking to Keston this Friday.
Whoa, spoily!
Spoilies for those of you watching the birthday stream. It's Keston time.
So we have 2 episodes in a row where it was impossible for me not to nerd out because like Keston was on Good Place, and then M is working on Star Trek, M Willis, and we got to talk about DS9. Good Lord, that was crazy. Lauren, you got to hold me back next time, man. No, we embrace each other's nerdiness. That's why.
Be nerdy.
Yeah, I kind of went wild on Keston, and so I think we're even. I was very nervous to speak to him.
And you went wild on Mary Elizabeth McGlynn. So
I still talk to her. I try to be her friend in real life.
Oh, that's sweet.
We all do.
Anyway, no one has an unkind word to say about her. It's insane. Anyway, the economic crash has been so tough. The old woman had
the old human in the shoe. It's politically correct.
Had to move out of her shoe and move into a
convent.
A convent.
Whoa.
Okay. Tom.
I'm gonna lose.
One of the answers that I considered started with the same syllable, but instead I decided that she moved into a sweat sock.
Greg?
Downsizing from a shoe, you go to flip-flop.
Flip-flop. Yeah, good answer.
Yeah, I think we need the judges for mine. It's pretty similar to a convent. I wrote a dirty parentheses, and I mean dirty little hole. And then I also wrote parentheses, at least it still feels like home.
That's elaborate. I'd be very impressed.
I'm gonna unfortunately say that's not a match, but I give you points for creativity.
Okay, I'll mark the points down. At least I got a point.
Expressiveness. Gary?
Kind of on the same Greg wavelength. I said an abandoned crock.
Good drawing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's really good. Tim?
On the same length as some others, a gym sock.
Yeah. Well, I think that means Ryan cannot make the 3 points he needs, but let's see what Shane and Lauren wrote anyway. An itty bitty baby sock and
never
just
worn.
A sock, no descriptors.
I personally think the right answer was a dirty, and I cannot stress it, little hole.
A little hole, just like a dirty, and I mean dirty little hole.
So this round ends with Jake scoring 3 to Ryan 0 in the tiebreaker. That was a really well fought game. Congratulations to both of you. I'll get in touch with you after the game to figure out who you'd like me to make donations to. But if you guys want to say anything about nonprofits you support now, that would be great. Or you can do it later. Jake and Ryan.
Oh, yeah. So mine is Pope Francis Center in Logan Square, and it helps move people out of poverty and helps with immigration. So all the intersection of issues of, if you're having trouble paying rent or that kind of thing. They're there for those kinds of services, helping the Logan Square community and helping people to become assets in that community. So
nice. That's wonderful. Ryan, have you chosen your nonprofit yet?
I think so, and perhaps not as topical, but I'd have to pick the Trevor Project, with the hopes that Black trans people would be helped. But I think it's a great organization.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, the thing is, like, there's a lot of causes that always need attention, and it's important to pay attention to what's going on right now, but also like to keep sustained efforts up. Like, I know a lot of the talk around the bond funds now is like, we can't just give when people are protesting. We have to recognize that, like, jailing, especially people of color, especially Black people, is an ongoing problem. So yeah, great choice, everybody. Thank you so much, Jacob and Ryan, for playing. I have gone to the chat. I've seen that we have got a replacement for our hopefully safe Anna in Orlando. So I'd like to invite Ben and Marnie Thompson to please get on the call now, and we'll keep chatting until they join. Ryan and Jake, you guys are welcome to keep watching, and I will be in touch afterwards for information on your nonprofits. And thank you so much for playing. I hope you had a good time.
Thanks, guys. It was great seeing you all.
Nice work, fellas.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Love you both.
Yeah, thank you. This is wonderful. How's everyone doing?
Finally, they're gone. I can breathe again.
Oh.
I'm just going to wander off into the background and get an ice cube for my cocktail, so don't mind.
I am drinking rosé that I got from a wine rep at work out of a Troy and Abed in the morning.
Very nice.
Very
nice.
You win, brother.
Did you choose between the bottle of red and the bottle of white first?
Oh man, I mean, it's whatever kind of mood I'm in tonight, you know?
Hey guys, can you hear me okay?
Marnie, when I heard you wanted to play, I thought that it was necessary. So Marnie was a contestant on a live version of Match Game I did in 2017. And I feel like maybe the panel wasn't as good then, and maybe you didn't get the full Match Game experience. So we've got some sharper panelists today who are ready to help you win that new car.
All right.
I don't know if I'd call this group sharp. When the panelists in the last round were more witty than we are, we might have a little bit of
let me message this other person and let him know to come on real quick.
Speak for yourself also. I'm dull as hell.
I just like to put it out there. I am the king of games, so I'm just really good. If they don't get the points, it's not my fault.
They can only fail you.
Here's my job.
Everything I do for a reason. I'm a genius.
I hope you take that answer you wrote for Where the Old Woman Moved and frame it, because that was truly art.
On a philosophical level, it's you're trying to make something universal, yet also that's specifically you. It's a very difficult game when you really get down to it, right? You're trying to be. I'm trying to be like this. Everyone would pick this, but also I need to know I'm a very specific kind of unique genius. Sure. It's very difficult.
That's really deep, but also true.
It's the Match Game conundrum, my friend. It's difficult.
For as much as I love game shows, I've never philosophized about them, and I don't know why.
like, maybe that's your new podcast.
Yeah.
Oh man, Lauren.
Yes, dear.
So a lot of people, I don't mean to like toot our own horn, but several people have written in saying you guys need to find something else to talk about when you're done with She-Ra, Greg being one of them. So
I'm one of those people. I need you guys talking for an hour every week. I don't know what I'm going to do.
You guys just talk about comics.
Yeah, whatever. You guys just talk about the weather. I don't care. I just need you guys to be together.
Gotta get that fixed.
Yeah,
there's still like 60 episodes of classic She-Ra you guys need to address. So I don't know why
you should do the new the Kevin Smith and the Mattel ones.
I guess.
They're not as good because we're not involved with them. I guess I don't know. They're probably great. I don't want to speak. But
I actually just heard some tea about one of them.
What?
Fill it. Maybe
it's really tea
if you want.
It's really tea. It might have to be for after when we stop twitching.
When we stop streaming, spill that hot tea.
I'm gonna spill that hot sweet tea. Yeah.
What if my stupid game show birthday stream broke some weird story about Kevin Smith and all of a sudden on comicbook.com and shit?
You gotta get those wiki citations. You know it's what I'm about.
I still have one dude who comments on anything I write. So I'm always like, just in case he's listening.
Tech Tom, can you please let Ben Rathert into the call?
Oh, Ben.
This is June.
Hell yeah, I can, Eric.
And she's
Thank you. Everyone say hello to Tech Tom. Ben has a helper.
Hi,
It's
can you hear me?
cheating.
cheating.
What's
my
up,
gosh.
guys? So this is these are our contestants for round 2. Marnie, thank you for jumping in so late. I don't have funny questions to ask you because I didn't know you'd be playing, but
Oh, no.
so I did introduce you by saying that you played the first version of Match Game with my friends in the Nerdalogs, which is a defunct sketch comedy group. How does it feel to go from playing with them to like people who like produce Match Game and She-Ra?
That is quite a step up. That's pretty cool. I admire anybody that works on game shows. It is one of my greatest dreams to actually be on a game show too.
Whoa.
So, you know, Jeopardy would be great. I love Jeopardy. Wheel of Fortune is probably more my speed, let's be honest. But
I feel like I know people who've been on Wheel of Fortune. I think we could make that happen.
I'm
And
intrigued.
Ben, so you like one of our last contestants, you are also a doctor. You are in DuQuoin, Illinois. Maybe not quite as beset by the current crisis as New York City, but still pretty harrowing, I would imagine.
It kind of. We were lucky enough to get named as one of like the official COVID testing sites for Illinois. There's like 100 of them, so we got a lot of. It was basically like drive-by doctoring, where like you could come in and we would stick a swab right up your nose through your car window, which was a lot of fun.
Has anyone been tested? Like, because that seems so painful to me.
Yeah.
Great.
But it was the mouth swab. Yeah.
Okay. Is that
LA
like
had free ones.
is that an LA thing, or was it like DreamWorks who provided it for you guys?
The LA.
All the LA County had free testing. It still has free testing.
Wow, must be nice, guys.
Yeah, Illinois, there was this story that went around saying Illinois is like opened up and everyone should get testing.
Yeah,
And
it's here.
the 2 centers closest to me, when I looked at the map, still said you needed like a doctor's note to recommend you. So I don't know where I would go.
Should be starting Monday. It's free for Illinois. Should be.
There we go.
There you go.
Good PSA.
And it's right down the street from my house. So if you go, you can just stop at my house. We'll chill out in my yard 6 feet apart.
Dude, that would be sick.
Yes, let's all get COVID tested and hang on to Tim Seeley.
Anytime.
If we get tested, we don't need to social distance, right?
I don't know if you get results right away, my dude.
Oh, well.
Yeah, good
okay.
point.
Burst my bubble. Speaking of hanging out in people's backyards, I'm actually going to visit Ben tomorrow. That's the second part of my birthday journey. Ben, you are a beer connoisseur as well. What are we drinking tomorrow night?
Well, I mean, Eric, because of your birthday, it's Bourbon County. Because the last time we were drinking together, we had a Bourbon County. So it's appropriate.
We had that on our show with you, right?
Yes, that was awesome, Lauren.
Ben was on the episode
Extremely
Hero.
potent.
Wonderful. And Marnie also has never been on our She-Ra podcast, but you know, Greg has been convincing me to do a podcast about game shows, so maybe Marty can come on that podcast.
Would love that. Yes, absolutely.
Lauren, we'll workshop this afterwards.
Okay.
All right, you guys, you all know how the game is played. We'll start with Marnie because she logged in first. Marnie, would you like question A or B?
Let's do A.
All right, question A. Marnie, the ghost of Charles Nelson Reilly said, yeah, Skeletor. Things have
Skeletor
sure
and
changed
Charles. Okay, I'm
since I
trying to
was-
follow the narrative here.
Things have sure changed since I was on the show in the 70s. We were pretty much drunk all the time back then. Now the hardest thing these health nut celebrities drink is blank. The ghost of Charles Nelson Reilly said, things sure have changed since I was on the show in the 70s. We were pretty much drunk all the time back then. Now the hardest thing these health nut celebrities drink is blank.
Mhm.
This is teed up for our LA people. So Match Game films in New York, I believe, but a lot of the questions are LA centric. It's almost like Middle America likes to make fun of Hollyweird. Huh? How about that?
There's nothing to make fun of about it either.
No.
No, nothing.
Midwest represent. I like that our one person from the Southeast had to leave because of
Yeah, tornado.
Because of the South.
yeah, because of the South, right?
Don't live in a tornado alley. I mean, we have fire, so.
Yeah. I mean, also though, society has fire, so
Do we
Yeah.
consider Florida the South? I've always sort of considered Florida its own thing.
It's
It's the South's South.
But the northern part of Florida is the South.
Yeah. What do they call it? Like Floritucky or Florida?
Yeah, Floribama.
Alabama.
Floribama.
Yeah.
But the rest of it is just New Yorkers and British people. That's
Yeah.
pretty much.
Russians and Europeans.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like Connecticut. The ghost of Charles Nelson Reilly said, "Things have sure changed since I was on the show in the 70s. We were pretty much drunk all the time back then. Now the hardest things these health nut celebrities drink is blank."
When I think of slightly hard beverages that health nuts might drink, I think of kombucha.
Kombucha. The ooh makes me think not everyone thought of that. But
Yeah.
Tom?
Come on, LA people.
I was worried that I was stereotyping Californians again by picking a drink that I really don't know a whole lot about, except it's got a fun name, kombucha.
Oh, we got a match. Greg.
So I am one of those LA people, and I'm surrounded by health nuts. I'm not one of them, but I know enough to know that it's kombucha.
Oh, 2 matches. Number 1 gamer dad, Liz Burton.
Yeah, I wanted to write kombucha, but then I was self-conscious in my spelling of it, so instead I wrote the juice left over from a used coffee filter.
I think that's kombucha. I think
Yeah,
that's-
it's like the same thing,
That's
right?
what it is. Yeah, that's how you make it.
Judges, judges.
I'm going to say not a match. But again, nice effort. Gary?
I did not say kombucha, and I feel stupid now because that seems like the obvious answer. And I couldn't decide between oat milk and goat milk, so I tried to do like a little bit of both. There's like a little milk carton of goat there, so
Oh. But again, nice art.
Thank you.
This is a very expressive game. Tim?
I came up with the hottest joke of 2011, bath salts.
I think that's when these questions were written.
And I totally have to pee really quick. I will be right back. I totally apologize. I've drank 3 beers since I've been sitting here.
You're good. Let's go to Shane while we're waiting.
This is the most accurate response, but it is not a match.
White Claw. Oh no.
That's a name, Angelino. We've moved past kombucha. Old news.
And Lauren.
I was feeling intimidated because my first couple were not matches, but I'm at that level of alcohol where I'm a savant now, and I'm happy to say kombucha.
Kombucha. That's
I like the tiny spiked.
Yeah.
3 points for Marnie. Lauren was just really feeling the ghost of Charles Nelson Reilly in that question.
If I had gotten that one wrong, I would have left the chat. So I'm glad I did.
Oh. While we wait, I have heard that Delaron on Twitch or Twitter donated $100 to Black Lives Matter Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Thanks, man. That's awesome.
Or I'm sorry, to Chicago Community Bond Fund. That's amazing. Delaron on Twitch. Thank you very much, Delaron. Thank you to everyone watching. I haven't been reading the chat, but it seems like there's a lot of people enjoying it. So that's really sweet.
Nice.
Yeah. Marnie, what is your nonprofit of choice while we're talking about this?
Oh boy. Let's see. So something that is in Ravenswood is the Night Ministry.
Yeah.
And they do a lot of services for homeless and at-risk people around, not just Ravenswood. They have the big vans and buses that go around, but it's a worthy cause that I like a lot.
That's awesome. As a former Ravenswoodian, I support the Night Ministry a lot. How about you, Ben? Do you have any nonprofits you really like?
We have the DuQuoin Youth Club, which is pretty much like basically a place where kids can go after school, and they do all kinds of fundraising throughout the year and like host events. It's a cool local thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's where we vote, which has nothing to do with actually what it is, but it is also a polling place.
I'm guessing people watching aren't familiar with DuQuoin. Can you give some context as to like how large your town is?
Well, we're 6,500 people. We are. It's little context here. So we're in Perry County, way down southern Illinois. Not a big town, but we have the other state fair because we have 2 state fairs.
Nice.
So recently, it was posted a thing from about 50 years ago showing all the towns in Southern Illinois that have sundown laws in them. And, you know, it was like a lot of towns, Anna's like the biggest one that comes to mind, but DuQuoin did not. And it was great to see it on the map. It's like, because we like classically, we actually have a liberal democratic, you know, like we're kind of a center for the area for that. So
progressive bastion in Southern Illinois.
But boy, that's calling it a shade too far. We're still in Southern Illinois.
I did see that Anna had a 1,000 person Black Lives Matter protest.
They did. It was awesome. We actually had our own today. About 100 people showed up, but it was good to go to.
That's great.
Yeah.
Love to see all the action. It's very heartening. I hope there's a positive change that comes out of all this.
Boy, howdy. Yeah.
Tim is back. So Ben, are you ready for your question?
Yes, sir.
This will appeal to you, I think. Brad, the full-time dad, said, "Call me overprotective if you want, but I don't let my kids play any dangerous or violent games. Instead of rock, paper, scissors, I make them play rock, paper, blank." Brad, the full-time dad, said, "Call me overprotective if you want, but I don't let my kids play any dangerous or violent games. Instead of rock, paper, scissors, I make them play rock, paper, blank." It's another Gary question.
I like it. This is my lovely wife, Nikki, by the way.
Oh,
yeah.
Now is Nikki consulting with you on your answers? Oh, and there's Ed.
Hey, Ed.
Happy birthday, bud.
Thanks, man. It is fun to watch people write. I mean, probably not for the viewers at home, but for me, it's nice to see people contemplating. How you doing, Tech Tom?
I'm doing lots of things at once and trying to stay on top of it.
Thank you, Tom. We appreciate. Tom is the events director for Cards Against Humanity, and he donated his services tonight. It's very cool.
So happy to help with my mediocre to subpar skills. We're making it happen.
If we didn't think we were mediocre at, we wouldn't do anything. At least that's how I feel.
Eric, while you've got me on mic, Ben, do you want to tell me exactly what your charity was one more time so I can get a proper link in the chat for everybody?
And I may have to supply you with more information in the future, but it's the DuQuoin Youth Club.
Youth Club. Great. Yeah. I'll find it from there. Thank you so much, Ben. Eric, I'll be quiet and go back into the background now. Goodbye.
Thank you, Tech Tom.
Tom's got to go back into the dirty, and I mean dirty little hole that we put him in.
At least it feels like home.
Yeah, that's the good thing about it.
So Brad, the full-time dad, said, "Call me overprotective if you want, but I don't let my kids play any dangerous or violent games. Instead of rock, paper, scissors, I make them play rock, paper, blank."
Throw pillow.
Rock, paper, throw pillow. Okay. Tom?
I had a rough time with this one, so I thought, what was the less dangerous alternative to scissors? And so I thought about those plastic safety scissors that they gave us.
Love it. Greg?
So my mind just went completely blank, and the only thing I think of was Safe for Kids, and that's Nerf.
Nerf or nothing.
It's Nerf or nothing.
Oh, Liz?
I thought like he would have created a fun game called Rock, Paper, Stay Inside.
Gamer Daddy, no one's ever gonna match with you. I just gotta be honest.
Listen, I'm just too good at this game. That's what it is. I'm just too good. Yeah. Also, yeah,
Liz
don't mind me. I'm just gonna change my name if I can to Gamer Daddy. And
Gary?
Old identity is gone.
Don't worry, I can change that for you, Liz. I'll take care of it for you.
Gary, what do you got?
Oh, sorry. I said rock, paper, hugs.
Oh.
I want to play that. I can't though because of COVID-19.
Oh, that's right.
Yourself a hug.
Damn it.
Yeah, it's fun to think about when the next time you'll be allowed to touch a human you don't cohabitate with is. Anyway, Tim, what?
I thought of like something that was both safe and delicious. So rock, paper, cottage cheese.
That's not safe for me. I'm lactose intolerant.
Oh God! I mean,
Kill Lauren.
Shane?
Kill Lauren.
I was like, you're gonna kill him. All right, so I was picking up what Tim was putting down, and I was like, what's the softest thing in the world? It's mashed tatties.
And Lauren.
That kills me.
I said rock, paper, Bible. And I also established that Bible always wins. It's really unfair.
Oh man.
Ooh,
No
that's
matches for Ben in round 1. It is 3-0 right now. We're gonna let Marnie go first in round 2 as well. Marnie, would you like question A or question B?
Question A did well for me last time, so let's try that again.
All right, question A. This is for Liz, Gary, Tim, and Shane only. Dirty old Manny said.
I like this already.
Yep. The worst part about dating a 22-year-old is she speaks almost entirely in internet abbreviations. The first time she saw me nude, she said blank. Dirty old Manny said, the worst part about dating a 22-year-old is she speaks entirely in internet abbreviations. The first time she saw me nude, she said blank. Again, this is for Liz, Gary, Tim, and Shane.
I already matched, so I'm just going to take this time to say Marnie has a poster behind her that says Marnie, and that is a power move.
It's an Alfred Hitchcock movie from the 60s with young, sexy Sean Connery.
Hey, hey.
Mm-hmm. If you have a movie with your name in it, you kind of got to get the poster, right?
Does anyone else have a movie that shares a name with them? I sure don't.
I'm named after the movie, Shane.
Whoa.
That was my grandpa's favorite movie. He used to force us to watch it all the time.
It's every grandpa's favorite movie, and my mom thought she was having a boy, and then
My anecdote is that for 33 years, I thought I was named after Lauren, the girlfriend in Family Ties.
Wow.
And about a year ago, I learned that I'm named Lauren in spite of the girlfriend from very different, and it's very on brand.
Your parents really don't like Family Ties, huh? They really resent it.
They were like, oh, why did they do that?
All right. Dirty old Manny said, the worst part about dating a 22-year-old is she speaks almost entirely in internet abbreviations. The first time she saw me nude, she said blank.
I'm first, right?
Well, Marnie, yes.
So,
Marnie gets
I have to give my answer first.
Yes.
But thank you. I appreciate the energy.
I'm just so into the game.
So,
I'm immersed.
Daddy, you're spraying yourself.
I'm sorry.
My initial reaction would be to say OMG, but Manny would probably understand what that means. So I'm going to say GTFO.
GTFO.
Oh.
All right.
No, I don't like that.
Liz?
Mine's kind of like that. Mine is, can I get some F's in chat?
Like Spike.
Oh boy. Okay, Gary?
Thank you for the F's in chat. People are doing it.
Keep Daddy silly.
We like to get a little silly up in here.
The thing about dirty old Manny is, he does not have the BDE, and so she says, ICM. Why am I?
In case you missed it.
You got the gun.
Let's dig into this.
What do you think,
Into
Morris?
this dirty hole.
Little hole.
Little hole. And it's just so dirty.
Him?
That one's simple, just BRB.
And Shane.
Greg. I'm sorry.
Greg, cover your eyes.
Guess what that means.
Please work that one out for me.
I'm so sorry. It sucked my dick from the back.
From the back.
I'm 34 and I feel scandalized.
Can I just say, Daddy's crying.
I didn't know that was. I gotta write that down. Shit, I didn't know.
I'm too young to be here. I'm too pure.
Like that doesn't mean like she's not against it.
Yeah.
I've been married and divorced, and that's too much.
I got too many teenage followers now. I've learned too many slang words. It's really upsetting.
That's a good one.
The kids are not all right.
Woo! Yeah, that's a new one for me. Gamer Daddy, have you heard that before?
I will neither confirm nor deny.
Here's my dog checking if I'm okay. She sensed my distress.
I don't think that one was in the book of internet terminology that I got in like 1997 from a Scholastic book fair.
Well, not then. Probably now.
Not then.
For AOL and
things are different now.
So Marnie remains at 3 points. Ben, are you ready for your second question?
Yes, sir.
You have to get 3 to tie, 4 to win. Ben, did you hear that Harry Potter got kicked out of Hogwarts? They caught him wearing his invisibility cloak in the blank. Did you hear that Harry Potter got kicked out of Hogwarts? They caught him wearing his invisibility cloak in the blank.
Is this for everyone?
For everybody, yes. I like how Ben mutes himself so he can talk with his helper. Hi, Nikki. Looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Just so everyone knows, we're going to hang out from a big distance in his backyard. I'm not breaking any rules. So LA, you guys you're stay at home for like another 2 months still, right?
Yeah, we're never leaving our homes.
Yeah.
Lauren and I want to do
all the bars next week, which is stupid.
That seems weird.
Yeah, I'm just having a drink from right here. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Lauren and I wanted to do a live show to wrap up Progressive of Power in LA, but it kind of seems like maybe the fates aren't on our side with that one. So maybe next year.
Well, they shut down the Hollywood Bowl, which is our big outdoor theater, and that was like the one space like that I thought might stay open because it's open air, and
Sure.
they canceled the whole season. I was like, oh yeah, this is real.
Well, listen, next year for you guys reunion show.
There you go. So this is a bit from so both Laura Sreebney and M. Willis have said to me that it's a bummer that She-Ra came out during COVID because there was no way for you guys to get together and celebrate. And I kind of coyly suggested to Laura that Lauren and I would happily host a writers panel. I know we're not Entertainment Weekly, but you know, we are available and willing.
Pitch for work number 3.
I'm shameless.
I think we would do one of these, like no problem.
I'm into it.
Oh,
Look at that, Lauren. So Ben, did you hear that Harry Potter got kicked out of Hogwarts? They caught him wearing his invisibility cloak in the
Room of requirements.
In the room of requirements. Oh. All right.
That's slang for bathroom.
No, wizards don't need that. They just go in the halls. They make it disappear.
If only that was the most offensive thing J.K. Rowling didn't need to say, but said anyway.
Hey, on your own turf.
During
Eric.
Pride? Yeah, she's trash.
Yeah.
She's trash.
She's bad. Yeah. Just speaks to the power of fiction being more important than the people who created it, I guess.
That's right.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. Those books were written by Hatsune Miku.
So Tom, did you hear Harry Potter got kicked out of the Hogwarts? They caught him wearing his invisibility cloak in the...
I think I was tapping into JK's fevered imaginations when I thought that Harry was hiding in the locker room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really good and sad. Greg?
I was really trying to think about Harry Potter places and things that would make sense, and I thought about room requirement, but I just wrote girls' bathroom.
Should I?
Not a good
Gamer
answer.
Daddy?
Yeah, I also was thinking about Harry Potter in my mind and like what wizards would do. And so I wrote a dirty, and I mean dirty, little hole, parentheses, it's a wizard thing, you wouldn't get it.
Liz is the agent of chaos in this game.
I've come to the point where I've realized I'm not going to get anyone any points.
Chaotic neutral.
You're chaotic neutral for sure.
Gary, to you?
I'm with Tom, and wizard sexuality is a spectrum, as we know. So he is in the the visiting Quidditch team's locker room.
That's good.
That's, whatever is good, Jonas.
So Ben, you need to match Tim, Shane, and Lauren to stay in the game.
Guaranteed.
Tim.
I don't know anything about Harry Potter other than that I know it's written by this woman. So I just put, you'll have to change it, J.K. Rowling's office, or you can say the office of J.K. Rowling. That works too.
Oof. All right. That is not a match. Shane, Lauren, what did you guys write?
The Hufflepuff lavatory. All genders are welcome there.
Lauren?
Very nice.
Okay, this is how deep my Harry Potter bullshit goes. I'm a proud Slytherin.
Did you write Room of Requirement?
I did, but then I threw it out. And I'm going to tell you the narrative. I wrote Room of Requirement. I have a paper that says that, but I'm not going to show it because it's a real heartbreaker. I decided in the Room of Requirement, it opens up whatever sort of room you need, and whatever sort of beautiful sex fantasy opened up, he wouldn't need to hide himself. He wouldn't need to be invisible because the Room of Requirement would provide anything he wanted. So I threw that paper aside and I wrote Dungeon, and I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry.
I love it.
I loved it. I loved that story. I closed my eyes. I was there with you.
Yeah.
Your answer of the Hufflepuff lavatory, I'll take the rest, she said. That's right.
I like, I'm going to ride on Lauren's Harry Potter coattails and say that I considered girls' bathroom, except that it's a major plot point in one of the books that Harry's in the girls' bathroom. So why would he need to hide?
The Room of Requirement gives you everything you need. You don't need to be invisible.
Yeah, like the Room of the Requirement gives you anything you need, which could be a dirty hole. That's all I'm saying. So if we could just get like the judges in on that, just like real quick.
So game 2 ends with Marnie scoring 3 and Ben scoring 0. But of course, we will make a donation to both of your nonprofits. Just Marnie's gonna get a little bit more, but guys, I hope you had a good time. This was so fun. I don't want to keep people here longer than they want to be, but does anyone have any parting words or anything? Any more talk about holes or how you get out turf?
Can we put nonprofits that we like?
Yes, that would be great. If everyone wants to just take a second to shout out a cause you like, I would really appreciate that.
Call us out by name and tell us what to do.
Yeah.
All right, Tom, let's start with you.
Trans Lifeline.
Very good. Greg, I have to, because I don't think you would say this yourself, but Greg did make a donation to Chicago Community Bond Fund a couple days ago because I posted something about it. So that's very sweet.
Nice.
Absolutely. I'm terribly embarrassed because my wife and I have been talking about a million different charities we're going to donate to, and I've forgotten all of them right now. So just donate to all the charities these guys.
Great. I actually have Gamer Daddies already, but can you refresh me on the name, Liz?
Yeah, so it's the Homeless Black Trans Women Fund.
Nice. Gary, you got a nonprofit you like?
Woke Vote, that is helping get out the vote, like especially in red states, and that's like it. We got to get out the damn vote. That's all.
Yeah, agree. Tim?
Obviously, in this time, Black Lives Matter, very important. Other times, Democratic Socialists of America can always take your donations, and they do great work. So donate to them.
Jane?
I'm gonna do a GoFundMe. It's for Brandon Saenz, which is Saenz. If you look up official Brandon Saenz Medical Fund, 26-year-old Black kid who got shot in the eye in Dallas, Texas by the police, was not actually part of the protest, just was getting food next to the protest, and they shot him in the face and he lost his eye and has brain damage. Yay! So please give to that GoFundMe.
And Lauren?
I have 2, if that's okay. I've already given to My Block, My Hood, My City, and I can't say enough about how great they are. They're doing a lot for the protesters on the South Side right now, but throughout the year, they really believe in giving back as a community to Chicago and beautification of neighborhoods. And so My Block, My Hood, My City, not only can you give your financial donations, but if you're from Chicago, you can also volunteer to put up Christmas decorations and rake leaves and shovel snow for the elderly. They really do a lot for the people who live here because they live here too. I also want to shout out, not related to kind of the current civil issues, but if you saw my dog Junebug was adopted from Help Save Pets, and Help Save Pets really opened up their hearts to me. They let me adopt Junebug during the pandemic. And so even though the vet office where Junebug was closed down because of COVID-19, they made a special arrangement with me that like I could go out to Oswego and adopt her. And so I'm really grateful to Help Save Pets as well for giving me my best friend during a very isolated time.
Do you want to show us Junebug one more time before we go? Oh, and also Match Tom. Tom, who do you want to call out? You've been silent most of this time, but you've been a huge part of this.
I would love to just shout out the Chicago Community Bond Fund. I know a lot of people have been talking about that, but the Chicago Community Bond Fund is really important. I would encourage people to set up recurring donations, even if it requires you to be at a smaller amount. There are more people that need that money that are aside from the protesters who also need it.
Hell yeah. And I just want to acknowledge my ridiculous privilege in being able to do this while people are literally fighting for their lives. But it's nice to take a break, and I so appreciate all of you guys here doing a really stupid thing, especially some of you who I barely even know, and you still agreed to do this, and everyone watching and donating. That's very cool. So
Eric,
what?
You are doing awesome work at the cafe. The stuff you're doing this week, the food and the water is just awesome.
Chicago appreciates you, brother. Cheers to you, Eric. Cheers
to Eric. We love you.
Look at how drunk Junebug is. Oh my God.
Oh, Junebug wants that pipe. All right, guys. I think we're going to go offline, but this has been awesome and probably the best of the birthday game shows, even though we're all remote and stuck in our houses. This felt really good. So I hope maybe one day we can all be together again. I was actually joking with some people before the show. I don't know that this collection of people would ever get together, except maybe if I ever got married. And even then, I don't know. There's a few of you who may not come. So we'll see. I have to become better friends.
Eric, I love you. You're the best. Happy birthday.
Oh, thanks, Gary. And
everybody,
thank you so much for all you do.
Take care, guys. Tom, you can cut us.
Bye, Eric. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, buddy. See you tomorrow.
Yeah.